Taurus, this is your monthly reading. My channel is new. It's called True Tarot for today. And I'm going to be doing a monthly reading for you guys. I'm going to be mixing the cards and I'll be giving you a layout of the general weather report for the month of February. So I will now start mixing for Taurians. What is coming up for you guys and what's around Taurus for the month of February 2019? What's going on? Taurus for February 2019. Okay. Okay, Tauruses, we're going to start with your first house, and the first house is how people perceive you, and this is a general forecast, so it's not going to resonate perfectly with everyone, but it is a general reading. Your first house, as I said, how people perceive you, they're seeing you a little bit bound and restricted right now. The reasons can be many, but it's usually mental. It's something that you feel restricted by. You're not feeling free-floating. You're not feeling freewheeling. This is a card where you feel held back. You might feel there are obstacles. Some of them are real. Some of them might be in your head. But it's saying that the world is seeing you right now as somewhat held back and frustrated. So if you don't want people to be seeing that aspect of yourself, be aware that the first house is the energy that's showing to others, and this is how you are appearing right now. However, diametrically opposite that, in your money house, you have the highest card in the deck, and this is the card of freedom. It's the card of reaching a very high level of consciousness. This can mean that some of you may have retired, some of you may be on a vacation, some of you may be getting checks through the mail, taxes. It's a sense of freedom. So many of you Taurians, your money should be quite good right now. Even though it's not necessarily showing labor, this is the card where the world is your oyster and you have a lot of possibilities. So you might, excuse me, my cat's in the way. You might have the ability to change investments or to do new things with your money, including travel. Okay, now in your third house, this is the house of your neighbors. It's also the house of friends, siblings, and if you're online, it's communications like Facebook. And this is the card of negative energy. So there may be someone or a group of people. This is the card where there's backstabbing, jealousy, and it can be, again, happening with your neighbors. It could be happening in your family. It can also, if you're online, it can also be a caution, not to gossip too much or say negative things. My mom used to say, if you can't say something nice, don't say something at all. So it is a card. Some people, refer it to negative. It could be slander, gossip, jealousy. They're just not very good traits. And so be aware of that. It can be around you, and it can also be showing in some of your own communications online. In your home, you have the card of judgment, and this is like the graduation card. So you might have completed construction of something. You might have completed a sale of a home. either moving into a new home or perhaps selling a home. But this is a card where there's a final decision, and it's pretty set in stone. So it's time to move to a new phase. It could be, like I said, a new beginning or an ending, but it is a card where one cycle has completed itself and another cycle is beginning in your home. If it's not the physical structure of your home, it's a relationship that was connected very much with your home, and the same applies to a relationship. Okay, in your fifth house, sorry, my cat's trying to get in the video. In your fifth house, you have a person who's presenting as reliable, trustworthy, hardworking, and honest. If this is not a child, because the fifth house represents children or new love, and new love for me is in the last 3 years. So if it isn't one of your children who's actually very reliable and upright, then it indicates that your partner is someone that you can depend on. This is the card of a person that's down to earth. Sometimes they might be a little boring, but generally speaking, they get things done, they have a work ethic, and they're honest and they're trustworthy. So if this is a new relationship or your child, it's a good card. Your next house represents your career and your job. And again, this is the card of dreams, aspirations, fantasies, possibilities. So if some of you have been out of work or retired, you're kind of thinking about all the possibilities of what you might want to do. If you're not in a career like advertising or the film industry, where you're working with a lot of fantasies and creative options, this is a card where you're thinking about all the different options that you might like to manifest or have in your career. If you are at a job, don't expect to be completely focused. This is a card, I call it the Walter Mitty card, the daydreaming card. And so if you're in a job that demands high precision or concentration, you're going to be daydreaming a little bit. You're going to be a little flighty and out to lunch. So in terms of your career, if you are in one of those jobs, hopefully you'll have an employer that thinks you have spring fever early this year. Okay, in terms of your partnerships, you do get a big surprise. And the Tower card most people don't like seeing because it usually says that you're not expecting something. So in one of your relationships, someone may be doing it for shock value to shake you up. It's a partnership. So this can be anything from work, love, family, living situation. But you have the Tower card, so you're going to be hearing either kind of surprising news from a partner, shocking news, oh, the company merged on Friday, or, oh, if you were in a rental, you know, we have to do work here, and it might necessitate you moving to another space. It could be anything. So any of your partnerships, expect the unexpected in the month of February, because this new news will surprise you. Some of you, it might even shock you. But in any case, one of your partnerships is going to reveal some new, what do I want to say, a big change, a new big change, a surprise, a February surprise. Now, in terms of your eighth house, this is the card of your bedroom, and it's the card of your shared resources, and it's also the card that represents inheritances. And you have the Lovers there. So the Lovers is perfect for the bedroom. I think with Venus going into Capricorn, it's going to be very nice for you Taurians. This is one of the cards of sexual attraction, seduction, pleasure, you know, in the physical desires and the physical appetites. And so expect that if you are intimately involved with someone, this will kind of be a hot, passionate month for you, and you should derive pleasure from your bedroom. Your ninth house is the card that represents higher education, any legal issues, lawsuits, legal things pending, and it also represents travel. So the first feeling I get from this card is that a part of you wants to get back to just your simple emotional self. And I think you think that if you traveled, you would get back to your balance or find your center again emotionally. In terms of if there's a lawsuit or anything legal pending, this person might be involved. And they're usually older, married. They're usually a nice person and considerate when they're upright. So I think that if you have a legal situation and this person is involved, they're not particularly a fighter. They're more of a dreamer and a lover. And then higher education, this would be in creative fields, if you were going to go for maybe higher degrees. Again, it could be any of the fields where creativity would be involved. Sometimes psychiatrists, psychologists, this card will come up for people that use their emotional intelligence in their career, and you may want to get another degree. That's very possible. Okay, in your career, in the 10th house, this is how people see you, and you have a new beginning here. So this is a whole fresh new start. And I think that you are possibly venturing into a new profession. This is the card of happiness and excitement with this new beginning. If it's not a new career or a new career path or a new location in your career, then this is a new person that you've met at work that is an exciting relationship for you. It's off to a very good start. Also, a new friendship might be connected with your new direction or your new career, because the 10th house is how the world sees you. A lot of people are getting emotional cards in their 10th house this month. Like, I think it's all the Aquarian energy where others are playing a bigger role now in our lives in general. Okay, now in your friendship house, you have a great card. This is the card of rest after labor, celebration, reunions. It's a beautiful card, and it's a beautiful card to share with friends. So this is meaningful. It means that you will have a lot of happiness and pleasure and harmony with the people that you care about that are in your life. And usually there's some really nice dinners or picnics or family gatherings. It can be friends, family, whoever you consider your friends. But it's a state of peace and harmony. So beautiful card for your friendship house. And then your 12th house is the house where you sort of screw yourself without knowing it. And it's self-sabotage sometimes. And a woman is in this house. And I believe it is a woman. If it's your own self and the description sounds a lot like you, maybe we can do a stretch to you. But this is usually a fire sign woman, an Aries, a Sagittarius, or a Leo. But it can indicate traits of entrepreneurial confidence, talent, usually, a person that takes care of themselves, has a certain amount of courage. They're willing to try new things, and a lot of, like I said, self-confidence. So this woman can be someone that, because they're in your 12th house, it can mean that you may have to become more like this woman and develop those traits within yourself. Might be some ego and power dynamics when you get a very strong person who, is somewhat successful and likes themselves. It can also indicate that this is a woman who's been a craw in your side, and we can go to mother, sister, boss, friend, ex, neighbor. It can be any woman that presents with those personality traits. The card is not upside down, so this is not like an unstable person that turns against you for no reason. This is a woman that knows who she is and knows what she wants. And sometimes, she can be assertive and not always maybe soft around the edges, but she's generally an okay person. So if you have someone who's an adversary, a rival, it's really more or less to teach you a lesson and to build your own skills up to become more confident, more entrepreneurial, more brave in your approach to the world. Okay, guys, that was the weather report for the month of February 2019. You have some interesting contradictions in this reading. There's freedom with a feeling with your money, and yet there's also a feeling of being bound and restricted. So I don't see overwhelming stress, but what I do think you should keep a heads up about is your partnerships. One of them will either, like I said, be trying to surprise you or shock you, or you'll just hear very surprising news regarding one of your partnerships this month of February. But your career, it looks like there's some new energy and new friendships. They may help you change direction or career, or put you where you want to be. You may do business with a new friend. In any case, I hope this is a good month for you, and stay tuned if you like. Push the like button if you'd like to subscribe. My monthly readings will be coming out a little bit earlier in the following months. This is my first monthly forecast that I'm putting up and posting on my channel. So good luck, Taurians, and take good care.